When Aliens Fireteam Elite was released in 2021, I began my journey with a Demolisher, and it's still my favorite class. So I wanted to revisit this class with a different build. This one has big damage potential and has great crowd control. This build revolves around stunning and knocking down enemies, and then maximizing your damage with the Impact Grenade Launcher. There is also another weapon that is just as good, but we'll talk about that later. The main focus of this build is around area damage with a heavy weapon. Alright, so the first ability is the Micro Rockets. It launches 3 rockets that detonate on impact, creating a large shockwave that damages and stumbles your foes. We're going to attach these perks. Loud and Clear increases the attached ability's damage by 20% and causes it to generate an additional stack of Clear the Room. Rapid Deployment increases the recharge speed by 20%. Fire and Forget will allow the micro rockets to debilitate enemies, causing them to take 25% more damage like explosives. It also gets them to bleed for 8% of their life, but that's not so important. Concussive rockets now fire for projectiles that deal less damage, but have a larger explosion radius that knocks down enemies. And here is the micro rocket ability in action. Blast Wave unleashes a concussive blast around you, damaging enemies and knocking them away from you. Dazed and Confused. Enemies hit by Blast Wave are dazed, which decreases their movement speed and damage dealt by 20% for 10 seconds. Bigger and Better will increase the radius of the attached ability by 40%. Here's what the Blast Wave looks like in-game. Clear the Room. Activating an ability grants 1 stack of Clear the Room and an additional stack for each enemy hit. Each stack increases gun damage by 2.5% and lasts for 15 seconds. When new stacks are gained, previous stacks are lost. The goal is to hit a group of enemies and get more stacks for more gun damage. Both abilities will activate Clear the Room. It's these bars right here. Each bar is 2.5% gun damage. The more targets you hit, the more stacks you get, which means more gun damage you should use with your heavy weapon. The timer underneath is when the stacks will be lost. Quick and Dirty. Whenever Clear the Room expires, your ability cooldowns are reduced by 1 second for each stack lost. So if you watch here, I have 5 stacks of Clear the Room. That means 5 seconds of cooldown reduction when the bar here expires. Now watch the timer. On my micro rockets, it goes from 11 to 5. Yes, that's 6 seconds, but it was just about to hit the 10-second mark. Down and Out. You deal 20% more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked, either by the micro rockets or Blast Wave. Alright, now let's apply some perks to make the grenade launcher better. Demolisher Heavy Training. This will increase max ammo of heavy weapons by 20% and their reload speed by 15%. Demolisher Heavy Expertise will boost the radius of heavy weapons by 15% and the damage by 10%. Lancer Heavy Expertise increases the fire rate and reload speed of heavy weapons by 15%. Demolisher Heavy Mastery will boost our fire rate and stability by 15% on heavy weapons. Here are the attachments I use on the Impact Grenade Launcher. Alloyed Chamber will boost our fire rate and magazine capacity by 15% and stability by 25%. Polygonal Rifling will increase the fire rate by 20%, and it has a 50% chance on hit. Enemies take additional 10% more damage. This can only occur on the same target once every 15 seconds. You can also use Miller Twist Rifling for the 20% chance to slow enemies by 50% for 10 seconds. Either one is fine. It just depends on your playstyle. Max Capacity Armature for 35% more max ammo and 25% more handling. So now with these perks and attachments, your grenade launcher is going to have a larger magazine and it fires faster than before. On its own, it's a small upgrade, so you can use it from long range just fine. However, to maximize on these changes, you need to use it in conjunction with your 2 abilities. Your micro rockets will now knock down enemies like spitters, prowlers, crushers, and runners. Then you can use the grenade launcher on them. But on other targets like a drone, warrior, or praetorian, it'll cause them to stumble, which is still very useful. Always use the Blast Wave as a second chance to stumble the enemy to do additional damage. Since both abilities will stun or knock down enemies, you can proc the bonus damage from the perk Down and Out. As long as they're stunned or knocked down, you will do additional damage. So when you encounter a large xenomorph, use the micro rockets to make them stumble, and then unload your impact grenade launcher at their feet. Shoot as many shots as you can before they recover. Then, if they still try to run or charge you, use the Blast Wave to stun them again. This pattern will give you 2 damage phases on a single target. If the impact grenade launcher blast radius is too much to handle, then you can use a different weapon. The micro burst launcher is just as good, but in a different manner. It has a smaller blast radius, less damage but a larger magazine, and faster rate of fire. These are the attachments I use. Flared Breach gives you 20% more fire rate and 30% more max ammo. Polygonal Rifling increases the rate of fire by 20%, and it has a 50% chance on hit enemies take additional 10% more damage for 5 seconds. And you can also use Miller Twist Rifling if you wanted. It just depends on what bonus perk you want out of the 2 attachments. The last one is Quick Charge Armature. Reload speed is increased by 25% and fire rate goes up by 15%. It also has 30% more stability on hit for 5 seconds, but it does not stack. Either one of those 2 heavy weapons will give you good results with this setup, so use the one that best suits your playstyle. So if you want to try an explosive build, try this one out with a Demolisher. I know it's not as powerful as the Gunner build, which can stumble enemies with their grenade and then activate Overclock with a pump shotgun to get ridiculous damage, or how a Lancer can stun lock enemies for 3 seconds and then get big damage with a pump shotgun also, but this does give you a different way to play the Demolisher if you like this class. I think each class has their own playstyle, and you can get some fun out of all of them in some way. Sure, I could use Gunner all the time, but I also like the Demolisher class for explosives, and this is one way to make them more effective with what it can do. Some players play very hardcore for damage, and others play for fun. So try to find the enjoyment that you get out of the game. Now I hope this helped you out. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching. My name is Carlos or Acid Glow, and I'll see you next time.